Secondly, how you build passion is initially the first step is curiosity. So if you build a curiosity list for yourself, 25 things you're curious about, that'll get you to open your mind towards what you're actually passionate about. And you break them down into the top 3. So let's say some of the things overlap. Like, let's say you write down trees and you write down biology, right? Kind of similar. So you want to clump them together. So all the topics that are repeating, you want to clump them together and find your top 3 passions.
Welcome to the Better Man Podcast with Ivan and Sumedh. This podcast is all about how to be an optimal, conscious male in today's society. Join Ivan and Sumedh as they go deep into the rabbit hole of personal growth, mindset, social dynamics, and spirituality. Are you ready to be a better man?
What's good, baby boo? Welcome to the Better Man Podcast with Ivan and Sumedh. This is the best podcast in the whole entire world. If you're not telling your friends about it, go ahead and tell your friends right now. Don't even watch the episode. Just tell your friends. Call up 100 people of your closest friends, 100 of your closest friends, and tell them, yo, Ivan and Sumedh have the best podcast. I don't know what you're doing with your life. You need to, whatever you're doing, drop it. If you're driving a car right now, I need you to stop in the middle of the road, and I need you to go and look up this podcast. I don't care if they hit your car. This is better, bro. We're going to start off with the affirmations of the day. Take a deep breath and say, I am beautiful.
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 What did you feel whenever you were saying those?
Yeah, it felt different each time because of the emphasis placed on the words. It just felt like I am, like am is a very powerful, I am, those words are like powerful manifesting words, right? So every time I said those differently, it just different things sparked. The last one was funny though, like the beautiful,
Yeah.
like split it up. That was what you call pattern break, or I guess
interrupt.
Pattern interrupt. Yeah, that's the word I was thinking of. Yeah, which was a nice pattern interrupt. It like sort of made me use my mind in a better way. Yeah.
I specifically chose the word beautiful because I know a lot of men struggle with that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like as seeing themselves as like beautiful men, just perfect, like attractive men, you know, physically attractive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might be true. Like, you know what I mean? That sort of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we always
struggle with that.
We always use the word handsome when it comes down to dudes. Never beautiful. That's very strange. That the word is kind of it morphed in terms of looking at manliness.
Definitely. Yo, Sumedh, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about one of my favorite topics, actually, passion, baby. Passion. So you know we gotta come with that passionate delivery today. Are you giving birth, bro? What's going on back there?
I'm birthing passion, bro. I'm giving birth to passion. For every wound, there is a womb. That
is right.
I don't know what that means, bro. It sounds like your mom hurt you.
No, it means like out of every single pain that you have in your life, something is birthing out of it. Something is born.
I like it, bro. I like that shit, bro. Yeah. Definitely. How do you think people can create passion? How do you think we can do that shit?
So in terms of the, let's say, positive psychology / flow genome project way, which is the way that I follow, generally, one indicator of passion is that we pay more attention to the things that we love. And that's why it's so important for a flow state. Because if you're more passionate about that thing that you're doing, you're more likely to put all your focus, all your attention on that thing to get your flow state to rise. Secondly, how you build passion is initially the first step is curiosity. So if you build a curiosity list for yourself, 25 things you're curious about, that'll get you to open your mind towards what you're actually passionate about. And you break them down into the top 3. So let's say some of the things overlap. Let's say you write down trees and you write down biology, right? Kind of similar. So you want to clump them together. So all the topics that are repeating, you want to clump them together and find your top 3 passions. Now what he advises, Stephen Kotler advises, is that you want to be able to act on these passions daily. So actually do different things that make these very strong skills for you, and you're putting them out into the world so people can see them as your passions. And after that, you get into your purpose, which is all about, does this solve a global crisis? Does it solve a global issue? Which is an awesome framework from curiosity, passion, and then towards purpose.
That's very interesting, man. That's very interesting. I definitely think like it's like your passion is the thing you talk about the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dang,
and every time you talk about it, you begin to feel more powerful, and you begin to get louder, and you begin to feel stronger and more energized. You know what I mean? So many people, they're going to work, right? And they feel tired afterwards, right?
Feel drained, yeah.
When you're working on your passion, you don't feel tired afterwards. You're like, what's next? What's next? What's next? You know what I mean? You're just doing what's next. And I just think like the way to find passion is to remove the not passion. I don't know, it sounds so simple. It's like whatever you're doing, because so many people struggle with like finding their passion, finding their passion. It's so simple, bro. It's so simple. You just do shit that you like.
Yeah.
That's it.
And remove the things you don't like. Yeah, it's pretty simple in that sense. Yeah. I haven't thought of it that way, but yeah, it's really that simple. And honestly, when you said what you said about like you get more energy after when you're being more passionate, whereas if you're doing some work you're not passionate about, it feels draining. It's almost like when you're feeling calm, when normally it would be really high pressure in a situation, but since you're passionate about it, you just feel calm as you're doing it. I think it has this ability to definitely manipulate your mood and your emotions.
Why do you think that is?
I think because if we're passionate about something, we engage with it more, and then we savor the moment more. We just taste more of the moment, we cherish it more, and then we feel a lot more creative. And as we feel creative, we feel like there are more solutions out there than there normally are. And so I guess that puts your mind at more of an ease, as that I can handle this. Whereas earlier, in a high pressure situation, something that I'm not very skilled at or comfortable with, you're not really like pushing towards that. But yeah, sure, you could say some people are passionate about things that they're not very good at too. However, oftentimes you'll notice if you're very passionate about something, you just perform better at it, at that thing.
That's true. You definitely, like, even if you're not good at it, you're gonna get really, really good at it if you just stick at it.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're passionate about. The way Dean Graziosi, the way he hires people, he used to hire them based on degrees and based on experience. But what he does now is he hires them based on his values, right? And those people who have those values, they're very like passionate about working with him, right? And whatever you tell them to do, they're gonna learn it and they're gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? That's so simple. You know what I mean? It's like if you have a passion, or if you have a purpose, whatever it is, it's gonna be easy in the end. In the beginning, it's gonna be hard. You know what I mean? Because you're not gonna have a clue about what's actually going on, but you're gonna try to figure it out. That's the whole point. Yeah. And if it's worth it, you're gonna try to figure it out. Simple as that. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? If it's not worth it, then don't do it. Stop doing it. But if it is worth it, keep going, 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 keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the mistake that people will make is like, they want to be passionate all the time. See, I'm a very passionate person, but I'm not passionate all the time. This morning when I woke up, I was in bed. I was stuck in bed for a while. I was still working. I was sending messages and texting people and shit, doing stuff on my phone, but I didn't feel passionate. I was like, I wasn't like, oh, I want to get out of bed. I want to knock out my day. I didn't feel like that for shit, bro. For shit. Partially, I think it has to do with the weather here in London. It's raining. It's all sad and gloomy.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I'm by myself.
SAD, bro.
Yeah. SAD, sad.
No, it's like seasonal affective disorder, bro. Like the season changes your mood. It's so true. It does happen at times. Withers away your passion.
It does. And then I just kind of got up and I started moving. And then I was just like, let's go, bro. Let's go, bro. Let's do it. Let's do it. Like just like that. I was talking like that to myself. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to be your own coach as well. You know what I mean? Like your multiple selves, have to communicate with all of them. You have to, your higher self has to tell your lower self to get up and keep moving. And that way your conscious self can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've also got to get in touch with that subtle strength of what we're good at, like within, and look for that. Because I feel like when you're saying, let's go, I think that's so powerful. Like, let's go, because it's like an energy, right? And it's moving you towards somewhere. And we're just moving towards what exactly? We're moving towards infinity, bro. Think about this. Like, we're moving towards something, nowhere in particular, but we're just going. And so when you get in touch with that feeling of that momentum, of that movement, going towards something, it just gets that passion on a loop. So the fact is, yeah, as you said, the higher self is like talking to the lower self. I know that both of us grew up pretty creative, right? So
I'd say so.
You know, we were both sort of, I know I was listening to hip hop, listening to comedy, reading comic books, watching cartoons, watching plays, you know, so much of that. And so that's like a subtle strength in me. I can't deny that, right? And so based on my experiences and DNA, it's a balance, right? You have to sort of match your experiences that you have in life with your DNA, like what you're genetically just predisposed to be very good at. And when you find that, that's when that beauty of passion, like, creates that subtle intelligence within you to rise, you know, and you're just like, boom, boom, boom. You're there. You're like a rocket ship, upward spiral game.
Definitely. I totally agree. Like, it's like your purpose is kind of like a mixture of what you're already good at. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because your whole life has been, like, if you notice, people's purposes tend to be something that they already knew when they were kids. Or they unconsciously or consciously did as kids. You know what I mean? And like, let's say, for me, it was being resilient. I always got to back up, bro.
Same.
I always got back up, bro. Always straight up, bro. Awesome. My uncle, you know, he used to be one of my biggest bullies. God bless him. You know, literally, I'd be like on the floor. He'd push me to the floor after he'd punched me a few times, and I'm on the floor and I'm trying to get back up, and he'd kick me on the spine like this. He'll push it down so I could fall back down, and I always got back up. You know what I mean? And I'm thankful for those moments. You know what I mean? I don't say that with any like sadness or any remorse or any hate for this guy. I appreciate him for being that way with me, because it's made me who I am today, and it's given me the courage to keep going, to always keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
man.
let's say, did you know as a kid what you wanted to like? What was your passion?
No, because it always changed. I knew I wanted to do something creative, but let's say in middle school I wanted to be a comic strip writer. That changed over time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even then, even during in that
But
moment,
what's the essence of it, bro? What's the essence?
right?
You know what I mean? Comedy is not the essence. What is the essence of wanting to make people laugh, to make people feel good, to make people feel better?
Right.
That's the essence of it.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I always wanted to make people laugh and make them smile, like turn their frowns upside down in a sense. And so I guess that would, like, if I did anything outside of that realm, let's say if, like, you know, let's say you were like some kind of like a snowboarder, or you were forced into it by your parents, or I was forced into being like every other Indian guy, like to be an engineer or like a doctor, right? Like if that was me, that would be me denying my potential. Same for you, right? So the thing is, whatever is true to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about, like, because for me, acting, I love acting so much. And I thought about, let's say I got into acting when I was 12 years old, and I remember auditioning for the Pirates of Penzance. And actually, like, I'd been acting before that. You know, like, let's say if my dad was gonna spank me or whatever, you know, I'd be like crying and shit. You know what I mean? That sort of thing, like tapping into that emotion of crying, and maybe put a little bit of guilt on him. Maybe he doesn't spank me so hard or whatever. Like, you know.
Okay.
And acting for me, I entered it and I loved it because it allowed me to express emotions. It allowed me to express ideas, to vocalize something that I wasn't necessarily allowed to do as a just naturally. Kids in schools aren't necessarily allowed to vocalize everything they would like to vocalize, or even by their parents. You get scorned if you say certain things. But when you're in theater, you're supposed to say those things. You're supposed to yell. You're supposed to cry. You're supposed to, you know, be cocky. You're supposed to be evil.
You're supposed to mimic voices.
Happy. You're supposed to laugh really hard. Whatever it is, whatever the. Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to do like weird shit, right? In theater, if you let's just take somebody who's like on stage and put them in the middle of the street, bro, they look fucking weird. You know what I mean?
Totally. Those theater warm-ups are hell, bro. Right now, my little white pony. We had like some weird ones for real. Like this bizarre, outlandish zip, zap, zop, or whatever. I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, someone doing that in the middle of the road, like, is this guy okay? Like, is he functioning?
911, we have an emergency.
Exactly.
Police. You know what I mean? Come on, kids, go over here. This guy's on drugs. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And in theater, you get to be over expressive, right? So now linking that to my own passion, to my purpose, is kind of like making people feel. You know what I mean? Making people feel things, right? And as I'm on stage, I'm able to feel it for them. You know what I mean? When you go into, like, it's funny, like, people go to see a horror movie. Why? Because they want to get scared.
They want to feel the fear, yeah.
They want to get, you don't go to a horror movie because you want to laugh. You don't go to a horror movie because you want to feel happy. You want to get scared. The same reason you go to a theater, you go to a play, you want to feel those emotions that you're watching, because your subconscious does not know the difference between reality and fantasy. It takes that in as real.
Yep.
And that's like my purpose. That's like making people feel and being okay with feeling that stuff. You know what I mean? Being okay with feeling sad, being okay with being happy. being okay with being rich, being okay with being poor, whatever those definitions mean to you, you know? Because today I was thinking maybe I should be a confidence coach, right? But then I feel like, no, because I can do so much more. I feel like that's not tapping into my potential, because I feel like energy awareness coach seems like not broad enough. It seems too broad, It seems too broad. You know what I mean? Because energy is everything. But I personally, I'm working on all sorts of energy. The way you think about energy, the way you're using your own energy, the way you're presenting your energy. You know what I mean? Your energy blockers, your energy from thoughts from your child, emotions that you hold into your body. I think about all that shit. You know what I mean? Motivation, that's an energy. Oh, God damn, bro.
Yeah, I really like that reframe of like looking at theater not as quote unquote dramatic, but as expressive, like allowing you to feel. I really resonate with that, man. I think a lot of people hide behind their characters and they don't allow themselves to explore their authenticity, you know? And really being allowing yourself, giving yourself the permission to explore that in a safe space, quote unquote, on stage, I know, in front of other people, in a group setting, whatever, theater warm up. When you're doing that, you're just allowing yourself to truly like unlock the different things you've been repressing and holding on to. Like maybe there's a little part of your childlike self where you've never really expressed innocence before. But on stage, you can act like that 4-year-old child again, just for a brief minute to get a taste of what that was like. And actually release it in the process, right? Because it's like energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. So that trapped energy of your innocence as a child is just cracks open during those moments. I think that's amazing. Yeah,
definitely, and that's so important to tap into that child self.
Yeah,
because in that child self, that's where you have like so much creativity. You're able to feel for the sake of feeling. You're able to grow. You're just able to absorb like a sponge. That's what children do. They absorb like a sponge, literally. You don't want to be an adult. You don't want to be stuck in the adult world, because the adults, exactly, bro. The adults are stuck. The adults are stuck, right? Children are malleable.
They're malleable. They're also absorbing a lot. Like they're learning faster than us. Yeah, it's really wild.
Exactly. So that's why whenever you do those like theater exercises that feel weird, they're supposed to feel weird, because children do weird things for no reason.
So true.
Right? And
I feel like children are the ultimate. They're the ultimate alpha male. You know, they just do whatever they want whenever they want to do it, and they have this sense of wonder and freedom while doing it. It's just this amazing energy, this childlike energy.
Definitely. And then that's why, like, when it comes to my passion, that's why I do things like tapping into your child self and tapping into your childhood memories.
Yeah.
Right? Because that we have to repair those. Right? That's where we have to construct your new self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We don't repair.
Exactly, bro. It's the circle of life. Everything just goes in circles. Everything goes in patterns, bro. Literally, everything. You most likely have the exact same thoughts that you were having when you were 12 years old. Straight up, bro. Most of your thoughts are the same, Sumedh. Let's say probably, I don't know, you're evolved now, so I'd say probably 70% of your thoughts are the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably, man.
Like,
probably.
You know what? Like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I wanna have sex.
Yeah, those titties. Are the basic drives. Yeah, the basic drives. Yeah, for sure.
Bro, every time you see a pair of titties, you always get excited. No matter how many titties you see, no matter how many titties you lick. Woo, man, boy. Every time I see a pair of titties, I'm like, oh, titties.
Don't know much about history. What was that song, which was like?
Don't know much about history.
Yeah, don't
know much about biology.
Hey.
Don't know much about man. Whatever. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking.
But I do know that one thing is true. What a wonderful world it would be. Yeah, it just reminded me of that. Anyway, whatever. So I was just thinking of like the different labels that we put on ourselves, like brother, cousin, father, friend, right? And just understanding that that is not all of us, right? These are the roles that we play during this lifetime. Shakespeare had the quote, "We're all merely actors with entrances and exits," right? We're merely players in this game. And so you are also equally not your occupation. Like I could say, you're not your occupation, Ivan. This is just something that you're doing while you're in this flesh meat vessel, right? So
of course.
You know, Ivan is a coach. You can't be doing that thing because you're a coach. It's like, no, you don't want to put yourself into the coach box, you know, like every other coach. It's like we are connecting with something greater. Just because a coach is also following their spiritual journey, that adds more dimensions, right? But people, they want to easily understand people. So they want to put them in a box and say, oh, you're a scientist. That means you take things very logically and step by step. Or, you know, you're a painter. That means you're freaking crazy. Or whatever the stereotype around that profession is, you know? So just know that whatever you're doing, whatever your occupation or work is, let's say you're a barista at Starbucks, that is not all of you. That is just merely something that you're doing while you're on this earth temporarily. That does not define who you truly are. Because passion does not necessarily mean like what you're doing with your career. Passion is something that is deeper than that. And it's a driver. It's a primary driver of emotion, as Luke said. We just came back from Vegas, actually. And we heard a lot of interesting lectures from a lot of different coaches. And yeah, we got a lot of interesting stuff from that. What was one of your favorite talks, Ivan, from RSD World Summit?
Bro, honestly, it was the last guy. Can't believe I forgot his name. We signed up for his coaching.
Oh, Bill Walsh, yeah.
Bill Walsh, bro. And I love Julian. I love the energy he brought, you know. It was very Scorpio-like. I asked him, he was like
Scorpio, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, boy, Scorpio gang, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we were just
I feel like Scorpios love
a lot there.
You know, I just feel like all Scorpios.
For sure, bro. That makes sense as well, though. Like as to why that he's doing that.
Yeah.
And it just kind of made me see being there. It made me see that it's very, very possible to get to where I want to get. And as much as I admire them, I know I can do better than them. I know I'm going to do better than them for sure. Because now I have their wisdom. I have their knowledge. You know what I mean? I'm going to build on top of that. I'm going to be so big, dude. Super fucking big. And I'm going to be big with purpose. You know what I mean? People say, I want to be famous. What are you exchanging and what are you giving to the world for that fame? You know what I mean? Even the fucking Vicky Woe, right? I think she deserves to be famous, you know, for her time when she was famous. I think she's in college now or whatever. Because she gave something to the world. She gave something to the world, right? Yeah. She gave us comedy. She gave us thoughts. She gave us like new thoughts to think about. She was saying, I'm black. And it made people like rethink, because black is not a skin tone. You know what I mean? When you look at you know, African people who are more closely looking to African people, I can say, they're not black, they're brown, but we don't call them brown. We call them black, right? So black has instead become culture. You know what I mean? So you can't say, like, she made me think about, oh shit, you know, it's so true. Black can just be like the way you represent yourself and shit like that. And she just kind of expanded definitions of what it meant to be black. You know what I mean? For a lot of people, there's a butterfly out here. So yeah, like, what are you exchanging? What are you giving to the world?
Also,
you know what
like,
I mean?
You recognize her voice anywhere when she's speaking. Hey guys, what's up? It's like, okay, you know that's Will Vicky, you know. Just
Yeah, or even Bruce Lee.
mm,
Bruce Lee on like I wrote my goal down the way Bruce Lee did his, right? So Bruce Lee wrote his and he said,
yeah. His law of attraction. His letter to himself, right?
yeah. Did you do the Aaron Dottie um life purpose course?
No,
No?
I don't know where I saw this, but yeah, I did see it somewhere. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I did it and it was like he was saying, I want $10 million and international world fame, and I'm going to be the very first Asian and popular US TV and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And in exchange, I'm going to provide entertainment for people, right?
He wrote the exchange as well. Yeah.
Entertainment is so big, so big. You know what I mean? It's like you might think, oh, you're just an actor, you're just a comedian. No, you give people more life, bro. More life.
Yeah.
People can't wait to go see movies. It's because it brings them out of their boredom.
Mm,
It brings them into a whole new experience.
yeah.
Imagine if we didn't have actors. We wouldn't get to experience Endgame. You know what I mean? We wouldn't get to experience love for these people. Why do we love these characters so much? Because they give us more life. They give us more experiences.
Mm.
So even if your passion is to make coffee,
Be the best.
like but live up to that. Live up to it. You're like I want to go up to the barista and be like, so why do you like to be a barista? If he says some shit like, oh, it pays the bills, well, get the fuck out of this job. I don't want you making my coffee. You know who I want making my coffee? I want that guy that's like, or girl that says, I love making coffee because it fuels people. It gives people energy. I'm giving energy to the people who are creating the world, to the engineers, to the doctors, to the actors, to the coaches, to the moms, to the dads, to the nurses, everyone who's taking care of other people who are pushing the world forward.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
The
making
boundaries
coffee.
of the world, right? Yeah.
That's why I'm making coffee. Not because it pays the bills.
Pay the bills.
We live in a fucking world. We're so blessed to live in a world where you can talk about Smurfs and make a living. Where you can sell poop and make a living.
Yeah.
Take whatever your talents are. If you don't have any talents, yes, you do. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. There's something that you do better than everybody else, and you're hiding it. You're hiding it because you don't think it's a talent, but it is.
Yeah. You know what? How they call it a calling sometimes in terms of your passion. Thought of it like it's almost like a phone. Like a phone. Like a phone, you know what I mean? Like it rings, but it resonates within you. And when you feel it within you, like no homo, but you know, it's just you feel it.
What? How is that even homo, bro? How is
I don't know,
that even
like
homo?
a vibrator in your ass or something. But
bro, I do that shit all the time, bro. That's totally.
I know you do, but you're an uncommon snowflake. Anyway.
I'm a snowflake. God damn, bro. God.
You melt under pressure.
Jordan Peterson, come and get me.
Oh my gosh, dude.
So you're talking about calling. You're talking about your calling.
Right. So you're calling, right? So if you have this calling inside you, it's like a phone ringing. Someone is calling you. Similarly, your calling is going to draw you or pull you towards a certain direction. Follow that intuition, wherever that ring is or that resonance is pulling you towards. Because oftentimes your instincts will be right unless it's, shoved down or, a lot of social conditioning over it. It'll be difficult to see. But if you really, really, truly follow that intuition that is moving you forward with that sure-footedness, one foot in front of the next, you are going to be able to truly figure it out. Like, what is it that I'm here on this planet to do? And what kind of problem can I solve? Honestly, like, when you look at it as you being a problem solver, like if someone's on the road and they're bleeding, right? You come up and you have the solution to their bleeding leg, right? You have all the things that it needs to patch up that wound. They're going to give you their money because you serve their problem. immediately in that moment. However, if they came up and you were like, do you want to buy some, program for like some ballerinas? It's like, what? Bro, I'm bleeding. Right? Can't you see that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
you have to really be able to tune in and listen to people. Like, what are people struggling and suffering with? And if you can fill that gap in the market, why did Uber be so successful? They filled the gap in the market. People were tired of waiting for taxis and like not being able to, just get that cab.
They were expensive. They were
Yeah,
expensive
they
too.
were really expensive too. Exactly. So they filled that market gap. And as soon as they did that, boom, it just started to boom. So
Definitely.
just figure out
become
where you fill that
solution
market.
oriented.
Yes.
Solution oriented.
Mm.
What's the solution? Stop thinking about the problem. If you're thinking about the problem, that's all you're going to think about. That's all you're going to create. You're not going to find a solution by thinking about the problem. You're going to find a solution by thinking about how you solve the problem, not just by thinking about the problem. You need to say, what can I do?
Yeah.
It's a higher level of thinking. And this can be anything. Like, let's just take fashion even. You know what I mean? Like, why are there like so many new companies coming out all the time? Why are there so many new brands, right? Why are there so many new clothing lines? Why? Yeah, ask yourself this. Why? It's because we're always looking for ways to stand out, to be different.
Novelty, yeah.
Create something that for people who want to be different. You know what I mean? I wear fucking shoes with flowers on the side. I wear
I believe that.
For freaking hearts and eyeballs on the side. You know what I mean? Because I want to be different. I want to specifically stand out. You know what I mean? You're solving a problem in that way. Because imagine if people had boring clothes. If we made nothing but boring clothes, bro, then people could not express themselves. People would not be able to express themselves. Or this girl, Jalen, we're about to do our first coaching session on Friday. And she does dancing. She teaches girls like she does like choreographies, and then she teaches them to like girls, and she does it, and like it's like a workout. It's kind of like it's like working out dancing, right? But these girls, they feel so sexy afterwards. They feel so empowered. You know what I mean? They feel stronger because a woman wants to feel sexy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like dancing is fun. You know what I mean?
That's very inspiring. Hey-o.
You know what I mean? Like, so she's solving a problem there, and she's making money out of it. You know what I mean? She's bringing joy to people, right? She's teaching them, and she's bringing fulfillment to them. She's filling in their gaps, filling in their holes.
Fully filling them. She's fully filling their gaps.
You know what I mean? So your passion can literally be anything. It can be water. This other lady that I'm talking to, we exchange messages all the time on IG. Her purpose is like to create wells around the world and bring water because she thinks water is very important. And she sells a machine that like purifies your water, and it makes it like super alkaline, and it purifies your whole system just by drinking this water, by drinking the water in the system. That's her purpose. Water, of all things, water is her purpose. For some people, dirt is their purpose, bro. Dirt, literally. Bro, you want to know how I'm going to build my house? Whenever I build it, I'm going to have a really big garden, a super, super big garden in the back, right? And this is the cool part. I'm going to have different forests from around the world, right? So I'm going to have forests from China. I'm going to have forests from Mexico. I'm going to have forests from North America. I'm going to have forests from, all over the world, right? So it's going to be like different trees, different bushes, different colors, right?
Wow.
And those are each going to require different dirt. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have to import that dirt from around the world. There's somebody who loves dirt and is passionate about dirt. They're gonna bring me that dirt, and I'm gonna be grateful for them for giving me dirt. I can
just imagine him like tuning out with his headphone. He's like, talk dirty to me. He's just like walking down, like has all these kind of soils in different containers, like. Yeah, that's wonderful, bro. That's really wonderful. You know, no cap, dead ass. I just want to ask you guys, if you don't like the world, just create a better one. Just create a better one. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't like what's going on around you, just create a better world. Superimpose it on the shitty world that you have around you. You know? And a lot of people don't recognize that, you know, they're bound by their circumstances or their environment. No, like, merge, change the environment, you know, like be able to be that person who just goes out there and gets their ideas across no matter where you are. If you're dropped in a desert in the middle of nowhere, you're still the trillest person there, and you're still doing your thing, you know? So yeah, that's something that I've really, it's not about the right kind of environment. It's like, are you coming from the right attitude in that environment?
Attitude is everything. Attitude is everything, for sure, bro. Why do you think people struggle with finding a passion?
I honestly think because people are scared to feel into it. People are scared to feel into it because it's a feeling journey. And if you got to build it if you're sensitive enough to live it and build your life around it. But if you're not used to being intuitive, if you're not used to following that inner impulse inside you, it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's going to feel like you're running around in circles. You're going to be like a freaking horse and carriage in a hovercraft town. You're going to feel like, you know, just dragging it around everywhere. But if you do have time to just sit with yourself and ask yourself different questions, what makes me feel most expansive? That's one of them. What makes me lean into my excitement today? And do that, you know, and then build momentum off of that.
Wow. I think some people are scared to be passionate. Yeah. Because it's a strong emotion.
It is.
And they've been taught to suppress their emotions for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
For so long they've been holding it in. And they don't know what's going to come out. It's like, wow. Like people, whenever they start crying, some people just start crying and they continue to cry so much.
I think apathy is the enemy of passion. Like the ability to just not feel anything, don't care about anything. It's like, I'm numb to it all, you know, I don't care. That feeling is like the killer of passion. It's just like, just crumbles it. But when you're like, you know what, I care about this thing, what I'm doing. I actually give a damn about this, and I find a fire within me that's lighting my path. That like gives you that boost, you know, you're like, oh, I'm going to make a difference to myself in the spiritual journey, but also the people watching me, they're going to spark their own spiritual journeys by watching me spark my own, you know, and it's just like this beautiful catalyst of like just going forward, you know, on your journey. Other people are watching that journey. Be aware of that. The people watching your journey, some might hate because they don't resonate with your frequency, or they want to bring you back down because that's what they're comfortable with seeing you as. So anytime you're transforming, people will try and bring you back down and make you dispassionate about what you believe in. Just a common factor, but that just means you're on the right path too, because that means you have polarity. So
true.
So
you're not neutral. You're not neutral.
Exactly what Vegas Dave was saying. Like he likes the fact that haters make him more famous. You know, where he was saying something about the fact that more clicks on my products. You know, more people talking about me, more clicks on my product page. Like that kind of attitude is really wonderful because. And I also equally believe in Arash's attitude of, I don't like my haters, you know, I despise my haters because why would I like them or love them? In a similar way, this paradox, this beauty of having haters and not respecting your haters and loving your haters, I think it comes full circle oftentimes. And it's more about ourselves. Like, I was once a hater, you know what I mean? Like, I used to hate Lil Wayne. I don't know why I used to hate, but it was just the thing to do as an underground artist. You would hate on the mainstream artists. And now reflecting back on it, I'm like, why? Like, it's ridiculous to the point where I was like, why did I have to diss him and like make diss tracks about this guy?
For sure. Mm-hmm. You used to hate on me too, bro. You used to hate on me too.
What?
Yeah, bro. Whenever I used to walk in reverse, and you told that guy, oh, yeah, bro, you told that guy, oh, I'm so done with this.
No, I didn't say that.
And you were like all tired.
What did I say, bro? I don't remember what I said.
You're like, oh, this again. You were like you were like in a bad mood.
No. I said this. I was trying to diss you. That's true. I was being a hater. I was like, this is why we can't take him to family gatherings.
Yeah, some shit. Something like that. You said other stuff as well. You know what I mean?
What other stuff?
And it was just because you wanted to self-amuse. You wanted to be able to do that. You know what I mean? So as soon as you stopped hating on people, this is what I noticed. Like, there's other people who have what I want. As soon as I stop being jealous, I'm able to learn from them. You know what I mean? Because when you're jealous,
what do you think that switch is, like, from the jealousy to the inspiration? Is it ego?
So it's like, so I think that when it comes to having friends, I think that I should be a little bit jealous of them, right? And what that really just means is, like, I should want something that they have. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that means they're better than me in another way. And I like that. And I like that. So I want to be around them so I can attract that sort of thing to myself.
That's great. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it goes back to like being solution oriented. You know what I mean? And having extreme awareness. You know what I mean? Where are you putting your energy? Where are you putting your thoughts? How are you using your thoughts? Right? So I'm an energy awareness coach. How am I using my thoughts for the greater good of me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, what images are you filling your head with? Because a lot of times those images hold a lot of weight. Like, recently I was coaching a guy today, actually, and he was talking about how this whole journey is like this enormous mountain he has to climb. And so, do you got to download? What?
Dude, straight the fuck up, bro. It was like, whenever we're like jealous of somebody and we hate on them, we actually want that, right? But by doing that hating, we're putting our goal at a distance. We're creating friction between our goal. So that imposes us. We're unable to achieve our goal because we're hating on the other person for having it.
Yeah, we add more resistance to it. Yeah.
So it's more impossible for you to get your goal. It's like
it's the self-sabotage. Yeah, the self-sabotage.
Exactly. How are you gonna get what you want if you're hating on somebody else for having that?
Powerful. Yes.
God damn, bro. God damn. So don't hate on people who are passionate, because that just makes it harder for you to be passionate about something.
Yeah, like I was saying about the mountain, like I just told him, why are you seeing it as a mountain? Why can't you shrink that mountain into a hill? You know, or something smaller. In that sense, you're creating this imagery of this tall climb to Everest, whereas in your mind, if you shrink it down towards just a little molehill, now it's so much easier to cross over that. You see, but the imagery that we create for our goals, for our obstacles, really gets in the way because of the visual, blockage. It's like saying you're hopping over a fence as opposed to hopping over the Great Wall of China. Like, which is going to be easier, bro? So the thing is, you really have to work out what are the obstacles in your way and what images are you giving it. If you're a very creative person, you'll do this a lot more. You'll come up with metaphors for the blockages that you have, roadblocks. This is what I love to work with, like symbols and stuff in my coaching too. Like really breaking down the symbols and the images that people are using. And yeah, oftentimes just by changing that image, just like makes the pathway a lot smoother, a lot easier, more efficient, more effortless, more
Mm-hmm.
effective. Yeah.
That's a very good point. Changing the image into something more easier for you to swallow.
Mm.
Because otherwise you can't fucking do it. And it's just you can't do it, you know what I mean? And even it's still a belief, you know what I mean? It's a belief. Well,
And
both of them are beliefs, you know
it
what I mean?
even
So which
comes
belief is gonna serve you?
right, and it even comes out in idioms. You know, idioms like phrases people use, like common English phrases, like carrying the world on my shoulders, bro. You're carrying the world on your shoulders? Like, that sounds like
God
a
damn,
lot
bro.
of weight you're carrying around. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Bro, you squat. How much do you squat, bro?
how
You
much do
fucking
you
carrying the whole
squat?
damn world. Damn, let me see them quads. No wonder you struggling, bro. Your quads are looking weak, bro.
Yeah. That's funny. That's fun. That's for real.
Have you been doing deadlifts? Bro, I'm telling you, you gotta do the dynamic movements.
We need to deadlift that world. Ah,
Exactly.
just imagine someone like do skull crushers with the globe.
Oh shit. And they're like working out my triceps and shit. One-handed.
Two planets, Mars and Venus.
Two planet. You're juggling the moon and shit.
Oh my gosh, dude. I often use that planet metaphor to describe two different people, like a male and a female, or two dudes who are totally different from each other. Totally different, I said. Totally different, bro. Like for instance, let's take an example of a man and a woman, right? Man to woman frame. Let's say they want to build a romantic passion, which is very different from other kinds of passion, right? Now, the woman is from Venus, so she has a specific temperature of her planet, right? She likes her dials, change in a certain kind of way, in a certain slower,
Bro.
And the guy, he's hot, right? He's like the fire from the Mars. He's a Martian, right? Named Marvin, hopefully. Marvin the Martian. And so now he's coming from that heat, that hot and that cold are mixing together, right? Creating this beautiful chemistry of male-female icy hot condom. No, I'm just kidding. They're just meeting for the first time, right? And so now that interaction has its own gravitational pull. The male has his group of friends, his crystallers, as we call them, people hanging around him in his general vicinity, and the woman has her girlfriends just around her atmosphere. Now imagine these two planets are about to collide through passionate either interaction, intercourse, whatever, some kind of they're just meeting for the first time. And so now with all the temperatures, the highs and lows of both the planets, the masculine, the feminine polarities, they're mixing and they're meeting for the first time. So there's a lot of chemical reaction coming off of them too. And now it's about, are they crashing and crumbling, or are they treating it more like a dance, this chaotic dance, right? If you treat it like it's crashing and crumbling and like everything's falling to bits and like we're trying to pick up the pieces, that's a imagery that you're giving yourself with the planet. It's like not really going to serve you. But imagine two planets like beautifully dancing together and like creating this beautiful chemistry, and like the solar flares are coming off of one and like some aliens are landing on the other one. It's this beautiful, like, mirage.
You're exchanging.
Exactly.
You're exchanging.
Yeah.
You're working together.
Working
you know
together.
What I mean?
Yeah.
I think at its base, at its core, what I think you're trying to say is vulnerability.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're vulnerable, that really just means you take down your walls and you tell the other person what you like. You tell the person, you discover what they're like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when we have these walls up, we're not able to learn from each other. And if we don't learn from each other, we're not able to give each other what each person needs and what each person wants.
Mm.
So that's the way you become passionate in a relationship and in life. You become vulnerable with yourself. What do you actually like? What do you actually want? And communicate that to yourself.
Yeah, and
You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
major tool.
Bring it from your subconscious to the
Yep.
top. From your subconscious, bring it to the top. Like, I'll tell you straight up, I love to be seen.
Mm.
I love to be admired. I love to be respected.
Mm.
So that's something I'm going for. I love to talk. That's why I love to public speak.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What would you say for someone who's struggling with that in those areas, struggling to be seen, struggling to talk, struggling to be heard, struggling to put their walls down?
I'd say
What
don't be
advice?
afraid to lose your friends. Don't be afraid to lose your friends. Don't be afraid to lose your family. Because if you lost them, that's one of the biggest fears. Like, I'm not going to have my friends. I'm not going to be liked. Da, 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 da. This is the thing, man. If you're pretending to be something you're not, if you're selling yourself short, you're going to attract those kinds of people that are also acting the way that you're acting.
Yeah.
Right? Or are vibrating at that frequency, at that level, at that passion level. Let's just say, like, this is a passion meter at a low passion meter, right? And when you begin to attract whenever you begin to express yourself fully, right, and to be vulnerable, what will happen is you're going to be brighter. You're going to be vibrating at a different frequency, and your light is going to be a different kind of light, and you're going to attract those people who vibrate at your frequency.
Yeah.
So those friends that you have now, it's okay if they go away, because you're going to attract people who are actually much higher than that, much better for you than that. Don't be afraid of your growth. Just stop trying to be comfortable. Stop trying to be comfortable. You're not going to grow in the comfort. You're going to grow in the uncomfort. You know what I mean? Like, how does a tree grow? It grows more cells, right? It dies out of the old ones, right? But what's happening in a bigger level? It's breaking. It's breaking, right? It's breaking through the old stems and pushing past those. That's how it grows. You know what I mean? It has to break. When we go to the gym, how do we get bigger muscles? How do we get bigger muscles?
It breaks it down.
You have to rip the fibers, literally. You have to put tension on them, and that tension is what rips it open, right?
Ooh,
and then
tension. Tension. Oh my God.
Yes. What are you trying to say? You put your tension in certain areas. You put your attention in certain areas, and that creates tension, and that tension is what rips it open. And then whenever we eat, whenever we sleep, it gets repaired. That's the recovery part. When we take a break, we allow ourselves to recover, and then we can go harder. Go through the recovery phase. Exactly, bro. Can you tell us what the recovery phase is for people who don't know?
Yeah, so the recovery phase in the flow cycle is essentially the last phase, which is kind of like a consolidation or a learning phase, actually. Like, once you've gone out of that peak experience moment, you're sitting with yourself, you're reflecting, you're giving yourself sunlight, you're eating better, you're comforting yourself, you're being compassionate with yourself. So the oxytocin and serotonin are rising during the recovery phase. So basically, you're giving yourself the trust back to go back into struggle. A lot of people, they stay in recovery because they're not ready to be back into struggle again, back into work mode or back into beta brainwaves. So just be easy on yourself, because you know your mind's not going to be on your side when you're in recovery mode. Like, I was just really jet lagged as I came back from Vegas. My mind was not on my side, but I knew that. A part of me knew that I had to be easier on myself. So I spoke to myself not like a drill sergeant, like, you have to do this, wake up now, but more like a kindergarten teacher. You know, like, they're there. It's going to be okay soon. You're going to get through this. And just by being lighter with myself during recovery phase, it just got me to be a lot more effective during the day, more functional. So, yeah, that's just a tip. Just be easy on yourself when you are going through this.
Just a tip. Nasty, Sumedh. Nasty. We want the whole fucking dick, Sumedh. We don't want just the tip, bro. Give us all the meat. Give us the information, Sumedh.
I'm teasing.
That's how it is, bro. That's how it is. You know it.
Yeah, you gotta buy my program if you want all the whole meat, the whole Amazon package.
Oh man, I was trying to get it all.
There's no handouts here.
We're gonna. This whole podcast is a handout. Bro.
Yeah,
we're literally. Honestly, we're just giving so much awesome information.
This
so
whole
much
podcast
awesome.
is a handout. Facts.
But I feel like when it comes to, like, we're just giving out the information, and by working with us, you get to speed it up. You know what I mean? You get to really integrate the knowledge.
Sonic
you really
the
get to
Hedgehog
integrate.
in this bitch. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You and I, we're not reading anything. We don't have any notes, whatever shit. Like, we're literally just speaking out of our experience and out of our wisdom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Consciousness
so it's like
diarrhea.
what the fuck? Yeah, sure. Bro, I feel like my senses have gotten stronger.
Spidey senses.
You know, because of my meditations and such. So anytime that I think about something and an image comes to mind, I can smell it.
Oh, bro, that's gross. Why would you want to smell that?
It's not like I want to. The smell will literally
sensitive. Yeah, you're just more sensitive to it. Man, I actually have that sometimes when I'm watching a movie. I can smell what's going on in the movie. I have that sometimes.
I can smell you right now, bro.
It's really wild.
Because it all has to do with memory. And so the electrical impulses run through my circuitry.
Yeah.
And my nose obviously has like a lot of senses and shit.
Olfactory senses, yeah.
And as you probably already know, your nose, your smell is the greatest form of memory.
Yep. That's why I have boom boom.
You're looking for it right now, right?
Yeah,
you were like, huh?
I was. I have it right here, actually.
You're like, let me get that boom boom right now. Get me in a good mood.
Right,
Get me
you know who I learned this from? I learned it from the
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. Gordon Belfort, bro. Oh, I already told you that. When did I tell you?
No, but because we both said the Wolf of Wall Street, and then we both said, yeah.
Boom, boom.
Shit, bro. We're becoming just like each other.
This is our sponsor for this podcast. Just kidding. It's not. We wish it was. We will get some sponsors soon, though.
Fuck yeah, bro.
This one is
bro.
Melon Drop.
Ooh! You know, I've also realized, like, if you don't have a passion, you have to let go of your addiction to not having a passion. Yep. What that really means is, like, addictions are just like things that you think about all the time, right?
Yeah.
And if sometimes we're telling ourselves, I don't have a passion. I'm not passionate. I'm not this. I'm not that. Right? And you get benefit from that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
Also,
it prevents you from having to explore. You know what I mean? You're keeping yourself safe by telling yourself that you don't, and it's impossible for you.
Right. Instead of thinking about the passion itself, start thinking about things that give you passion. Because you could be thinking all day about, like, oh, what is my passion? But instead think about, like, what wears passion like a jacket throughout the day? Like, what part of me, like, feels super enthusiastic when I do this one thing, right? Start asking yourself more of those questions rather than, because if you say, I don't have a passion, the mind doesn't register I don't, right? If I say don't smoke, you're thinking of the image of smoking. So what I would say is just think about what it is that makes you passionate rather than think of the word passion itself. Because passion could be, like, in many different ways, right? You could be passionate about killing someone, but that's not a good passion, Oh no. Maybe to some people, but that's that's not generally helpful to society. So what I would say is find things like, let's say you're passionate about filmmaking, for instance, right? Now go into the world, looking at the world as a film. That's it. Like
Oh yes.
everywhere
Yeah.
you look, you're like, oh, that could be a scene for this thing. Or like, oh
Mm-hmm.
man, this could be a
Yeah.
beautiful segue where I pull in this
Yeah.
frame, right? And so now it becomes more of a passion because you're actually thinking about it, but you're engaging your mind while thinking about it. You're not just thinking, what's my passion? What am I passionate about?
Yeah. Whenever I used to think like that all the time because I used to make my skits and my acting, and I was like,
That's
one
awesome.
time when I was getting this girl was breaking up with me, I was like, okay, this is a good scene. All right, we're gonna do this from this angle.
That's so
We're gonna
you.
incorporate this. I was like, we're gonna incorporate the sound of the birds. Like it was just like there was birds chirping on the side. I was like, okay, we're gonna have the birds. Make sure that's there. Make sure we're gonna do it in front of a garage, like shit like that. It was kind of funny.
That's so funny, bro. That's funny when you're like incorporating your daily life like as moments of a film. I haven't thought of it like that. Yeah, that's
I
really
actually do love to make films. I actually really do love to make films, but I personally feel like I love to make things that are very different and not boring. And people like to make things that people have already made. You know what I mean? And I think that was probably one of my biggest struggles in film school. Like everybody wanted to make films.
yeah. Film school
I
is
was the
different. Yeah.
like
I feel like film school has
people.
a strategic way of doing things.
No, but I mean like the students, they weren't very open to doing my ideas. That's what was so fucking upsetting, bro. That's honestly what killed my vibe. It
Yeah.
really killed my vibe because it was like I was like, that's fucking boring, man. Let's get these fucking angles in here, bro. Let's get these I consider myself a fucking creative genius. You know what I mean? And it's not like I consider other people's ideas to be dumb. I just think if you can come up with a better idea than mine, well, then let's do that. You know what I mean? But when the majority of people are honestly, if I would have gone to a like a higher level university, I probably would have made the films that I would have liked to make. Right? Because that's where you get like the extremely fucking different thinkers, different thinkers over there. You know what I mean? But it's all right. You know what I mean? If I didn't go to UEL, I wouldn't have met you. I've gone through all the things that I've gone through. So you know what I mean? I have to accept my past. I have to accept the nature of the way things have gone for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And the thing is, like, I have to have what I want in mind and not try to make it be in any sort of specific way. You know what I mean? Because we get so attached to the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, and then by being, it's just like, just have what you want in mind and have like a plan, but don't expect it to go exactly like the plan. Because it's gonna go in another completely different direction. You're still gonna get what you want.
Right.
But
I love that.
It's gonna go in a different direction.
Of like learning to play a musical instrument, but then just picking it up and improvising and playing. Because once you know the rules of the instrument, you don't necessarily have to be bound by those. You're just like freestyling, on your saxophone or whatever. So yeah, similarly in life, you have to learn the rules of life. But
That's so true.
Now, once you learned it, all right, it's free flow time. That's why I love
the rules don't apply to you anymore. The
Yeah.
rules don't apply. Yeah.
Jay-Z had a quote about flow, bro. He was like, it's not go with the flow. You got to be the flow. And it's so true. You can't just go with going with the flow is a dead fish, right? But when you're being the flow, you are the water. You are breaking down mountains, right? Water is so hard and soft at the same time that it can penetrate through like rock, and that's how we got to be. We got to have this compassion, but also the strength behind that compassion.
Totally. As better men, definitely. I totally agree with what you're saying, bro. Um, Yo, how long have we been talking?
I have no idea.
Honestly, we always forget to put the damn timer. We've only put it like one time.
We just get lost in the sauce every time, bro.
Honestly, bro, we always get lost in that coochie sauce, in that coochie juice.
Bro,
You know
my
what I mean?
passionometer is rising as soon as you said that, bro.
My-
I can't get enough.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like throughout, I don't know if you've seen me, like, but sometimes I got like my face got really serious. I was just getting like flashbacks of like previous like sex adventures that I had, and I was just like,
Sexcapades.
and I was just like, and it like, it just brings out something inside of me, like when I think about how dominant and aggressive I've been with some of these women, and it just like, you know what I mean? Like a beast inside of me comes. A beast inside of me comes.
Every
you know what I
Scorpio
mean?
listening to this right now is like, amen, brother.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like crazy wild sex is the best sex. You know what I mean? When you're biting, you're scratching, and you're biting hard, you're choking, you're slapping. You know what I mean? And it becomes really, really passionate, right? Really, really. That's a different kind of passion. You know what I mean? It can be slow as well. We love like that slow kisses, those slow, gentle touches, right? And then we shift it into that craziness. You know what I mean? That wild sex, right? That's, we call that passionate. That's not boring. That's passionate. Why? Because you have to be comfortable with that person to do those things. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what I mean? You can't just go up and fucking start fucking slapping people and shit. You know,
Like
you can't just go up and start.
Like on a first day, you like go back with a girl, you start you start choking her, like.
There has to be a kind of openness, a kind of vulnerability. You know what I mean? Whenever you're having sex, you're literally spearing her. You're cutting through her. You're opening her vagina. You know what I mean? That's vulnerability. She's allowing you to almost impregnate her. You know what I mean? Because when a girl has sex, it's more dangerous for her to have sex. You know what I mean? She could be stuck with the baby for 9 fucking months.
Yeah. Which is,
you know what I mean?
An alien process by itself. Like, what are even?
That's vulnerable. I've had unpassionate sex, and it's when the girl's not vulnerable enough. When the girl's scared to have sex. You know what I mean? She's scared. She's holding back, right? You can't have passionate sex like that. You cannot have passionate sex like that when you're holding back. So stop holding back in your life. Stop holding back.
Yeah, don't half-step it.
Unleash it. Let it go. Let it go. Free yourself. Free yourself entirely. Free yourself entirely. Here, bro, watch. Okay. Let's just start yelling, free yourself, and I'll yell out, free yourself, and then you let out, let it go, and we're gonna use this for the beginning part of the podcast. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right, 1, 2, 3. Free yourself. Free yourself. Let it go. Free yourself. Let it go. Free yourself. Let it free go. Yourself. Let free yourself. Go. Free yourself. Let it go. Free yourself. Let it go.
Yeah.
Amazing. Dun. Welcome to the Better Man Podcast. I swear, every single time that I hear that intro, it's fucking awesome.
Pastor Will Rice, shout out to you, bro. You killed that intro.
Definitely, man. They did an awesome voiceover.
All right, man. How can people get in touch with you, man? Where can they?
If you literally go to Google and you type in odd resilience, I will literally be the first thing that pops up. You can find my Instagram. You can find my Facebook. You can find my YouTube. You can find the podcast on there. Literally, just go to Google and type in odd resilience. That's it.
Wonderful.
What about you?
All right,
Hold
you
me
go to
soon.
Google, you type in FLOZ or ZONE Academy.com. Also, just type in Flow Zone Academy. I'm on a lot of different, platforms. Definitely on a couple of different blogs and stuff like that too, where I've done interviews with people. You type in my name, Sumedh Chatterjee, Sumedh Chatterjee. You can also find me on a lot of different platforms. But yeah, if you want to follow me at Flow Zone Academy on Instagram as well, I would appreciate it. Got a lot of cool content coming out very soon, as soon as I got my phone fixed. But yeah, have an amazing day. May the flow be with you. Stay legendary. And make sure.
And be a better man.
That's what I was about to say. Be a better man.
I know you were, bro. That was not what you were gonna
No,
say.
I was asking, are you ready to be a better man? But you said.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. See, so it's not the same thing, though. It's not the same thing. Just to clarify.
All right. Specificity.
I'm a very literal person, bro. I'm a very little person. You know.
You're a little person.
I am a little person as well. I work with Santa Claus. I work in the naughty department. We deliver coal all around to the naughty kids.
Oh man, I'm gonna get my candy cane from you next year. All right, man. Have an amazing day, guys. Peace out.